Typically with drums, your attack times will probably be mostly between instant and 50 milliseconds, unless you're doing some kind of special effect. And then release time's just going to vary on taste, and we'll show some examples of that in a minute. Moving on to ratio. Ratio is, some people call it how hard the compression reacts. You guys will notice that some compressors don't have a ratio control, and those are just fixed ratio compressors, especially some of the vintage models like the LA2A, stuff like that. But basically, this ratio is set to basically 2 to 1. So for every 2 dB over our threshold, it'll result in a 1 dB output. So if we go 4 dB over, we'll have a 2 dB output. If we have 8 dB over, we'll have 4 dB output above our threshold. Okay, and then lastly, gain reduction, as you guys saw me doing with the 808. Once you get into heavier compression, you'll need to raise your gain makeup. Some people call it gain makeup. Some compressors call it gain. Some are just labeled output. And it's really just to make up the volume that you lose from the dB reduction. Just depending on, some people like to match it exactly so that when you bypass, you have the same level, and that's good for gain staging and also A-Bing, so you know exactly what your compressor's doing and you don't suffer from hearing something that's louder sound better.